All right, this is lesson 20. More ways to measure length. Lesson 20, day 3. Make sure you have done day 1 and day 2 and have shown me and got them signed off by this point. So, more ways to measure length. Read the problem, then you will look at ways to measure. Jonah wants to measure the length of the ribbon around his present, or this present, I'm sorry. What is the length of the ribbon in centimeters? Measure it. You can use a ruler to find the length. Line up the left edge of the ribbon with the 0 on the ruler. We've been practicing that. We've been learning that. So they did. Mark where the ruler ends. Then move the ruler so that the 0 is at your mark. Repeat this until you find the length. So what they're basically saying is, if the ribbon is longer than the ruler, you're going to put the edge with 0. And then wherever you stop, you're going to make a mark. Then you're going to move your ruler over, start 0 at this mark, and keep going. And that's exactly what they did here. Mark where the ruler ends. So that's what I just told you to do. Then move the ruler so that 0 is at your mark. Yep. Repeat until you find the length. Easy enough. They measured. Here's their mark. Measured. Here's their mark. Measured. Here's their mark. You can use a meter stick to find the length. Line up the left edge of the ribbon with the 0 on the meter stick. So they just used a meter stick, which is it's just the longer one. Okay? That just depends on what you have handy. Use the models to solve the problem. Look at the first, measure it. The length of the ribbon is equal to how many rulers? How many rulers did it take? Not meter stick, rulers. 3. 1, 2, 3. Took 3 rulers. How many centimeters are on each ruler? Oh, goodness. Let's look. How many centimeters are on each ruler? You gotta look real close. You may want to look at your book. This is very small. I don't know if we can blow it up anymore. But right here, or you could look back at day 1. Oh, there it goes. There's 30. There's 30 centimeters on every ruler. So one ruler has 30 centimeters. Write an equation to find the length of the ribbon. So some kind of centimeters plus more centimeters plus more centimeters equals some kind of centimeters. Well, that's 1, 2, 3. That's 3. 3 rulers. So 3 whole rulers. So how many centimeters are in the first ruler? Well, 30, because rulers always have the same amount. How many centimeters is for the second one? Well, 30. Still the same. It's not a different ruler. What about this one? You guessed it, it's 30. We've done problems like these before. So what should you do with all 3 of these? If you said add them together, you were on track, considering it says add. These should be easy peasy for you at this point. Zeros drop. 3 plus 3, 6. 6 plus 3, 9. So how many centimeters is it? 90. Look at the meter stick. How long is the ribbon? Okay, let's look at this meter stick. Okay, it magnified it for us. How many? It also says 90. Both ways work. Why is it easier to measure the ribbon with a meter stick than with a ruler? So what made it easier to do it with this big guy and not these little guys? Well, I kind of said it. It's easier. Well, the meter stick here. So the meter stick is longer, way longer. Is longer than the ruler. You we're going to say don't. You don't have to move and measure again when you use the meter stick. And I don't want to hear all this noise about having to write a bunch. You'll live. Try another problem. Circle the objects that are easier to measure with a centimeter ruler. Underline the objects that are easier to measure with a meter stick. So, which one's easier to measure with this little guy, and which one's easier to measure with this huge one? Okay? A sandwich. Remember, if it's a tiny little ruler, you're going to circle. And if you think it's this huge guy, you're going to underline. So a sandwich. Do you need a little ruler or a big meter stick? I hope you circled it because the sandwich is not huge. Your height, so as tall as you are, should you use a little ruler or a big meter stick? I hope you said a meter stick, a jump rope. What do you think? Yep, you should have underlined. This book, your math book, should you use a little ruler or a big meter stick? I sure hope you circled it. Your book's not that big. And a pencil. This is a mechanical one, but it's probably just about as big as your pencil in your hand. Would you use a ruler or a meter stick? You better have circled it because a pencil's not very big.